Welcome to Family Time. My name is Naoto. I am Shin. We're technically brothers. Are we technically brothers? I saw a comment saying, what does that mean? Technically brothers? You're obviously brothers. We get all kinds of comments. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Sorry about that. No, it's just that it really gets me. I should probably explain what technically brothers means. Okay. Technically brothers? Does that not really explain it? Right, that's why I said technically. People think we're brothers who don't get along lately, like, you guys don't get along. Really? Anyway, I'd like to talk about Nakatani's dirty boxing.
Get along.
They say we don't get along, or that we're always fighting. And we've also been getting comments about it. People say things like, the older brother has a bad personality, or the younger brother seems more mature. I can totally understand that way of thinking.
Hoichi.
If I may say something, I'll keep it really short. I'm one of 7 brothers.
I'm the youngest brother.
And this guy is one of them.
All of them.
I'm on good terms with everyone, so I just go out to eat with all of them like it's nothing.
Alcohol.
I can drink too. And people can say this or that about my personality. But that's not really something outsiders should be talking about, you know? That's just how it is. As for the person being talked about, I don't really have anything to say. There are fans who support me, so it's like they're telling us this. Like the other day, Kanikin was training all the time, and 2 young people said, we always watch you. May you please do your best and don't lose to Assassin. They say things like that to me. That's really encouraging. Well, maybe not exactly encouraging, but I don't really mind it. But they're Asahin's fans. There are also some people who support me, just in case.
I guess so.
Please explain this to those people and let them feel at ease, everyone. So, well, I took quite a detour, but inside, Junto is being called a dirty boxer. Right after the match, I didn't think of that at all, not even a little. I didn't have that kind of mindset at all, but when I looked online, I saw people saying things like that, and I was surprised, like, oh, so that's how people see it. I think it also shows just how much attention this match was getting. I was surprised by what people were saying, and it was a bit unexpected, but I actually thought it was a good thing. I think it's good when there's buzz after a match. I'm the type who thinks that's never a bad thing. For example, when you watch boxing, there's that famous moment when Mike Tyson bit Holyfield's ear. That itself wasn't a good thing, but it's super famous, right? That story became a historic moment. As long as something like that isn't covered up or erased, I feel like anything goes.
Whoa.
Anything goes. I say, I don't think it's good to just say it's fine or something like that, but I also think this is part of sports too. And well, rather than just playing the match and having it be forgotten, I think it's better for something like this to make a big impact and become part of boxing history. As for Ichiro Nakatani, I think it's fine if he's remembered as a dirty fighter.
Kada.
Because of that, the next match will also be like this. I want you to use your technique though. So looking ahead to the Inoue fight, what will Naoya Inoue do against this dirty fighter? It gets exciting, doesn't it? I see. That will also raise the excitement for the fight with Nakatani, and everyone will go to watch the match, and it makes us all excited. It will also raise the excitement for Naoya Inoue's fight, and everyone can make money from the event, so I think it's a good thing overall. I see. As for the bad side, rather than saying it's good or bad, I was just surprised that people see it this way. I haven't really thought much about whether it's good or bad, so I see. I think this is probably how the general fans feel, but someone is being called a dirty boxer. Sometimes it's actually good to be seen as a dirty guy, but more than that, I just... what is dirty boxing anyway? It's just one style of boxing, right? That's how I normally think about it. I never really thought Jin Nakatani was a super clean boxer to begin with, and I even made an analysis video about it, about Jin Nakatani's previous fights. Even at the moment when his opponent is going down, he's still trying to land punches almost every time. All the scenes are like that, so it's not exactly dirty, but from the start, like, I never thought he was a super clean or upright guy. He's actually pretty much a killer. Like, I see, so from my perspective, it's like, why are people acting like it's something new? He's just smiling and putting someone in a rear naked choke. Even though there's a photo, nobody thinks he's dirty when they see it. I'm really surprised that people are only starting to think that now.
That's what I thought. I never really thought he was dirty either.
Well, that's true. If you put a label on it, you could call it dirty. But at first, the batting wasn't intentional and the clinching was a bit rough, but he didn't lose any points for it. I think he was warned, but it wasn't against the rules. It wasn't a foul. And since he didn't lose any points, even if it's rough, if it's allowed, then you should use it, right? That's what I think. So maybe that's why Nakatani gets haters, or maybe everyone is just surprised that he was doing that kind of thing. Maybe it's just that I was really rooting for Nishida, that's all. I think this match got a lot more attention than his previous opponents, so more people were watching, and that's why there was more talk about it.
This time, it really was a big fight, wasn't it? Okay. I realized for the first time that's why everyone was paying more attention to this match. So I think there were also Nishida fans there.
Like the previous Filipino who defeated Donaire. If it's to the point where people forget my name, then there's not much buzz about it after the match.
It's in the middle.
It used to end with something like, Tanito is strong, who's next? But now it's more like, he's a dirty fighter.
Somehow that's actually a good thing. It's starting to get exciting.
That's just how it is. When you get attention, you end up with some haters. In that sense, I guess it's fine because I'm getting attention, one way or another.
I see it the same way as Shin.
We're both Nakaya people, but now it feels like things have really heated up and people are talking about it this much.
From my point of view,
in the ending, there was batting and even some punches, so I can't just call it batting. But on top of that, there was the shoulder too. The shoulder, that was the clinch work with Nakaya.
And then, that's the cause.
I think it's like that because a lot of people think that's the reason. But even right after the match, a lot of boxing channels were saying that's not quite right. I wonder though, I think everyone is probably saying the same thing. Well, that's boxing for you.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
If you want to call it dirty, then yeah, that's what it is. It's not clean, that's what I think. I saw this though, this highlight scene right here. They were just boxing normally, and when the referee said break, Nakaya threw a quick body shot. Just like that. I won't say any names, but a certain boxing trainer came to Teppen Gym and we talked a bit. He taught me this move too and said you can do it. But only when the referee is on the opposite side, not here. When the break is called, your opponent relaxes a bit, right? That's when you can sneak in a body shot like this.
But
that person said you can do it right here with the palm of your hand because you're close. There's some distance and this part is harder, so you just do it like this. When you go pona, it's like focusing, right? And if you go ton, it kind of works and gets a little irritating, so that's kind of dirty. Yeah, it's dirty. That's all it is. If the referee isn't watching, you can do it. So what I want to say is, I want to call Nakatani a dirty fighter. He's a dirty fighter. But the winner is the winner. So you can't say, yeah, you lost just because the other guy was a dirty fighter. As a fighter, you can't say that. Sure, weird fans might complain about the opponent, but the result doesn't change.
because it doesn't.
You could see that Nakatani was willing to do whatever it took to win. I just took it, but even before, there was a bit of a killer vibe, you know. I used to call Takeshi Tarachi a psychopath killer. It might actually be a more fitting name for Hito Nakatani. Hito Nakatani, psychopath killer. Dirty Nakatani, like Dirty Nakatani, Dirty Hito.
Dirty Hito is good, right? Dirty Hito.
For me, I think Nightmare is good.
Wasn't there someone like that? There are a lot of Nightmates, but I think Nakaya Hito is pretty suitable. You know, the Nightmate who stares at the other person, like in The Nightmare Before Christmas.
That skeleton, you know, the Halloween one. I get that kind of image from Nakaya Hito. Yeah, just a little bit for sure. Nightmate is either a Reaper or something like that, right? Like a Grim Reaper from overseas. Yeah, like the one holding that big scythe. Yeah, that's it. I get that kind of vibe, you know, just a little bit.
He's a dangerous guy. Yeah, definitely dangerous.
And after the interval gong sounded, the way he stared was a bit, yeah, this guy is scary, you know? There's something terrifying about him. Like he's searching for weakness. No, really, I can't even ask Nakaya about it. Ha ha ha. But honestly, it makes you wonder what would happen if he went up against Naoya Inoue. Watching this match with Hayes in that scene, I thought, like, maybe he can't beat Inoue after all. But actually, I started to feel like he could win. I got the impression that he has a better chance of winning. Everyone was thinking, yeah, since the body shots worked, what would happen if it was Naoya Inoue's body shots? But actually, he put in a lot of effort just to land those body shots. Nishida also took some damage, so that played a part in the result. There were things like Nishida's shoulder and headbutts, so those factors were involved too. Honestly, it's a bit disappointing. I wish it had ended more clearly and cleanly with a definite result. In the end, nobody really knows why his shoulder got dislocated. Probably no one knows. It just happened in one moment, with a sudden movement and his shoulder popped out.
There wasn't really a moment like that. At least I don't think so.
We'll make an analysis video during family time, but honestly, I couldn't really find anything. Plus, it happened around the second or third round, I think. The second or third. I couldn't really find anything noticeable.
I wonder how he managed to get out of that, you know? Did he say anything in the interview? He didn't really say anything specific, so it's a real mystery. Has something like this happened before? Apparently there was something with his left side in the past, but this time it was the right, so maybe that's an issue that's happened before too.
In the middle, I don't think Taneito did it on purpose, but that's how it turned out. Fukaya, but that's how it turned out, right? Because they're conscious of it. They openly say things like hitting on purpose, which is pretty scary. There's one more thing that's been on my mind. Recently, Baitasu released a new protein, right? Peach flavor. I want to try it, but I haven't had it yet. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, this one. I thought it looked really good, so I wanted to try it. Yeah, it was delicious. It's highly recommended for people who like peach, right? Yeah, that's true. I'm really into the blueberry yogurt flavor, and I also drink the chocolate one. They're all delicious, so I switched them up depending on my mood. The new peach flavor was also really good. I can really recommend it to people who like peach, but I guess there are some people who don't like it, right? Well, there are people who don't eat meat, so I guess there's always at least one person who doesn't like it. There are actually quite a few people who don't eat meat for various reasons.
Animals.
Because they feel sorry for the animals or things like that.
In the end, those people also like the taste of meat. That's why they eat things like fake meat, right? So when you think about it, there probably aren't many people who actually dislike the taste of meat. Among vegetarians, I feel like that's the most understandable or acceptable reason, because they feel sorry for the animals. That makes the most sense to me.
That's something I can respect. I think that's how most people feel, right? It's not really a bad thing or anything. People who do it for health reasons definitely need protein, right? Yeah, that's true. But there are vegan proteins too, right? Yeah, but those are probably really nasty, made from fake stuff.
Protein is definitely really nasty for sure.
I don't think so. At least when it comes to the taste. I think A's protein is the #1 punk full pound, and AA too, and Hitorubin as well. So everything is all set with A. My supplements are really just protein, AA, and multivitamins. I drink it as a substitute for breakfast, but I definitely think that's better than food. Well, even if that's not the case, having protein along with breakfast is totally fine too. Anyway, I just want to include it somewhere in my routine.
It tastes good. It's delicious. Delicious. Yeah, it's really good.
It really doesn't taste like protein at all, right? It's just like regular juice. So I guess for people who usually eat breakfast every day, replacing it with this might be a bit too much of a hurdle. Maybe it's better to drink protein with juice, like with watermelon, or swap it with something else. That might actually be the best way to do it. Honestly, it feels like, for example, having it together with breakfast or something. Everyone knows that drinking vegetable juice is healthy, right? But this is protein. If it's protein, it keeps you full for quite a while too. It changes your whole day From my experience, I think you'll understand once you start drinking it, but you don't get hungry. That's what protein does.
You won't eat weird stuff during the day, and you'll just end up eating something like chicken from the convenience store.
You don't end up craving things because you feel satisfied. That really changes your daily performance in a lot of ways, and it's honestly all good things. When you get hungry, you end up wanting junk food, especially when you're out. So not getting hungry is the best thing. Stomach. If you don't get hungry, you have to plan ahead. If you get hungry, you just get hungry. So when I get hungry, I drink Vita's protein or just use this pack. It's fine, but I usually put it in a shaker.
And carry it. And just walk around with it. What is that? As long as you have water, you can totally make it, so that's doable too. Definitely. Please get Vitas from the description box. Thank you. I highly recommend it.
Going back to the story about Jun Nakatani and the boosters, Ryosuke Nishida, Jun Nakata, and Dirty Nakatani. We pretty much said everything there was to say. It feels like, oh, you just realized that now? But after that, he was pretty much acting within the normal boxing rules, so that part was a bit different. Well, maybe it wasn't exactly within the rules, but I wonder how that is.
Since he wasn't warned, I wonder what that means. If he wasn't warned, then maybe it's still okay.
Does that mean it's within the rules? Well, it's not really within the rules, but since he didn't get caught, you could say it's possible to do it. That's probably why people talk about that part.
It's interesting, isn't it? All for the sake of winning.
Yeah. If you think about it, it's kind of a skill, isn't it? All the great famous boxers in history, all the legendary ones, they're all kind of like this, aren't they? Small. Even if it's just a method, wanting to win raises your chances of winning by 1%.
If that's the case, you'll use it. That's how you rise to the top.
I think that's what makes a true athlete. So there are some athletes who use it like this. Personally, I just think that's also a skill, you know? So for regular people who don't know much about boxing, it might seem unfair. Or, I mean, you could say it's not very gentlemanly, but honestly, all the big boxers are kind of like this, Everyone's like this. Mike Tyson's like that too. He even bit an ear. I mean, that's not okay, but he went that far. So a little headbutt is nothing compared to that.
It's nothing. It's like, it's not a big deal, right? For Mike Tyson, it's like, yeah, I get it.
That's true for Mayweather too. And others like that. They do things like low blows and robot Doran too. All those big boxers have a bit of a dirty side, that's all. Except for Naoya Inoue, right? So I think that's the difference. It's like he's being spoiled by Naoya Inoue, There aren't that many boxers who win in such a clean way. So maybe everyone just assumes that's how it is. If Hito Nakatani, who's considered dirty, beats Akira Inoue, that would be amazing, right? He would get criticized for that, right? I don't think the points Akira is making would really get through for some reason. Even if you say he was disliked for being a dirty boxer, there are other boxers who were disliked too, like Mayweather or Jaran. Even Mike Tyson had a period when he was disliked, though that's not the case now. Now, in the end, they're all considered super legends and incredibly strong, aren't they? Yes, and getting legendary status in the boxing world is amazing, right? So, if dirty fighting was really such a bad thing, you wouldn't be able to become a legend. If the industry really thought this guy is dirty, so there's no way he could be inducted into the Hall of Fame, then it wouldn't happen.
As long as you win, that's all that matters.
Legendary fighters who win all do things like this in various ways. That's the impression I got. I see, in a way, with Nakaya, so it felt like he showed real boxing to the general public. That's one way to look at it, right? He was really good. I actually checked out a bunch of boxer channels, and everyone was saying the same thing. They were all saying, this is boxing technique, and that everyone does this kind of thing in boxing. It's nothing unusual, and it's not something that's wrong either.
But at the top level, it's considered wrong. People say it's dirty.
It just means they don't know boxing. Like everyone who knows boxing says this is normal. So maybe it's just Naoya Inoue fans, not real boxing fans, who are surprised by this.
Naoya Inoue, that's right.
Or maybe when they watch boxing, they only watch Naoya Inoue's matches. If they're only watching things that are too clean, they might think, wow, this is such a dirty technique. But I guess that's just a natural reaction, right? I see. I can understand that.
Yeah.
To some extent, yeah. Then why do you think people call it so dirty? I guess it's because of the results. Nishida's eye got swollen and his shoulder got dislocated. Or maybe it was just ducked, I'm not sure. But that's the result we saw. It's not exactly unfair, but people think his shoulder got dislocated because of a headbutt or because the boxing got rough during the clinch. Because that was the result, and because the fight was stopped, people think he won with dirty boxing and in an unfair way. That's the impression that stuck in the end. If the match had continued and Nakatani Hito had won, then people wouldn't be saying much about dirty boxing. If it had gone to a decision, there probably wouldn't be all this talk about Nakatani Hito's dirty boxing. It definitely wouldn't have become such a big topic.
But that's why the fight was stopped.
Surprisingly, even though Nishida lost this match, it was the kind of fight that actually gained him more fans.
That's what happened.
I think people who like Nishida and those who support Nakaya probably thought that Nakaya stopped the fight with his technique. But when you actually look at it, it turned out that Nishida's shoulder wasn't really involved in the clinch. His eye was definitely hit by a headbutt, but he also took quite a few shots from the left. So you can't say the headbutt was everything. I think everyone is making a fuss because of the way the result turned out. It feels like a misunderstanding, like he was just a bit too relaxed, that's all. That impression will stay forever from now on. So for those people, I wonder how they feel about that. They do get attention, but I think there's good attention and bad attention. I feel like the top athletes will gradually become the villains as things go on. I feel like it just makes them scarier, and as an Inoue fan, that's kind of scary, you know? Junhase did something like this to Naoya Inoue. That's how it feels, and I guess that's one way to look at it, yeah. Naoya Inoue's fans really worship him, so since Nishida is landing body shots, they say Nakatani has no chance, and that it's dirty.
It's like they come up with every possible negative thing, that's how it feels.
Well, I don't think they're actually scared or anything like that. If Nishida struggles not against Nishida, but against Upper Dirty, people might start to think, maybe, little by little. For now, though, my first impression is that Nishida's fans have increased one-sidedly. And the post-match interview with the most views is Nishida's, even though Nakatani won.
That's what I mean.
So there's that aspect too, yeah. And Nishida also gave a good performance. He showed us, right? He put up a good fight, and that's what it's all about. I think the one who exceeded expectations the most was Nishida. That's why
Nishida. He was underestimated way too much from the start. That's what I thought.
He won 2 rounds, and everyone was saying maybe he could have won them all. You know, he really fought well.
Even when he took the round, didn't it seem like he was just getting dominated? Maybe that's the impression people had, but he should be praised.
He should be praised.
I see. It was more than I expected, so about 2 rounds. That's all.
Did people think Junito Nakatani would just beat him up one-sidedly because Nakatani was considered that strong? Or was it that Nishida was being underestimated? He won 2 rounds, and Nakatani won 4 rounds. Fukai, yes. Higuchi, yes. Fukai, that's right. Well, you know. He did his best, but Hayato Nakatani won overwhelmingly one-sidedly. I never really thought that from the beginning. I'm not surprised because I had the impression that he'd wear him down in the second half.
Well, that's right.
In boxing as a sport, if you look at it that way, since Nakatani won, that's pretty much the end of it. When you say the general public, when you say that it's not like boxing is that popular. People who don't really love the sport,
Well, they kind of like martial arts and occasionally watch boxing.
That's the feeling I get.
When it comes to that, well, just a little. When you look at the media, the promotions, or Amazon Prime, there's definitely a sense of drama, right? Nishida is challenging the incredibly strong Junto Nakatani, and then there are other deadly challenges as well. Even though there were options like fighting other contenders or defending the title, he deliberately chose a strong opponent. Hayato Nakatani is going to have a unification bout, and even if he goes down the path of fighting Naoya Inoue, with all that momentum, the fans and everyone are behind him. In that situation, Nishida choosing to fight him exceeded everyone's expectations, so I think it's natural to feel something about that. When you look at the comments, you can tell they're not from people who have been watching and studying the sport of boxing for a long time. People are moved by that kind of drama and respond to it, and I think that's also really great, a great entertainment. That's what I'm saying. It might sound kind of negative, but overall, I actually think it's a really good thing. It was a great match, and it was a match that truly moved people. Even hardcore fans who really love boxing thought it was an amazing match. Even people who watched the match casually could feel that this guy was dirty. There are boxing matches where, even if someone amazing shows up, the fight just doesn't move you emotionally. Even though they're doing something incredible, it just doesn't touch your heart. I think it's a bit of a shame, especially since the fighters are giving it their all. That's why I think this is actually a really positive thing, even if it seems kind of bad. You mentioned that there's a tension as well, so that might be part of it, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Still, it's not exactly good either, just kind of neutral.
Yes.
Yes, I see. I think so too. I used Mikey Tights biting the ear as an example, but that was already, In the end, I can't really say if it was good or bad for Mikey Tights, but at the time, it wasn't good, right? Back then, I wonder what people said and what kind of punishment he got.
Probably.
I think it was probably something huge. The fine was pretty harsh, I think, but since he was such a big name, there were some things he could get away with. Because it was Mike Tyson, but he didn't go that far, and it wasn't that close, so, things like that happened in boxing too, so it's just kind of like that. It's totally fine, Yeah, in the end, it's not really something that should be a big deal or anything, just normal. It was a hard-fought battle, and that's the kind of match it was. That's what it was about, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So, the people involved in boxing, or rather those related to it, former fighters, champions, it's the kind of reaction where this becomes a hot topic. Just watching it normally, it was a good match. I thought it was over. It's like, huh? They're saying it was dirty? Like, who's that? That kind of reaction? Well, after watching Nakaya like this, I started to like him even more. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see a boxer like that. Maybe interesting isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. Actually, I tend to like those kinds of rough boxers too. Nakaya. Yeah, well, I've been steadily doing things like that before, but it was never to this extent. That's right, it never went this far before. But the previous opponent had already been defeated by a rush in Big Bang mode, Rishan. Sensei, do you endure that and go for a clinch or something, and then from there even more? Nakatani had technique. That's what it means. That's the feeling I get. I was a bit surprised to hear it called Dirty Boxing, so I thought I'd make a video about it, but Naoto covered it from various perspectives, so I realized it really exists. It was interesting, and it was a really great match. That's why people say that, at least from my point of view.
Everyone's perspective.
I like to hear your opinions too, so please leave them in the comments. Also, don't forget to get Vitas from the description below.
Potato.
Really, please try it at least once and give it a taste. There are a lot of different flavors, so definitely give them a try. Thank you very much, and please smash that subscribe button and smash that like button as well. Let's meet again. Bye bye.
Thank you